This week, you're really going to begin digging into your research paper topic. And by Friday, I'm looking forward to seeing 2 of your sources and summaries of those sources and your introduction and thesis statement. A lot of you have chosen the career topic. And so a very natural fit for that would be to use a personal interview as one of your sources. So I wanted to talk to you a little bit more about a personal interview, how to conduct it, how to cite it in your research paper. I'm going to borrow heavily from an article called Let's Chat, Best Strategies to Weave Personal Interviews into Your Research Paper by Ellie Wahlberg, who is the Communication Coordinator for Cornerstone University's Professional and Graduate Division. And I will actually put this article in the introduction to this module if you want to read the article fully. So Wahlberg says, why personal interviews? Primary research in the form of personal interviews gives an added layer of specialization to your accumulated information. Rather than applying your research topic to material you find, you begin with your research topic and discover information specifically relating to that topic. Personal interviews, whether face-to-face, on the phone, or over email, provide the opportunity for you to learn more about a particular topic and incorporate another credible source into your paper. You don't want to use all personal interviews because clearly they're just one person's point of view versus a source that might include multiple people's perspectives or summaries of multiple trends in the field. But a personal interview can add a lot of great information to your paper. So here are some tips if you want to conduct a personal interview for your research paper. First of all, find a good, credible person to interview. Ideally, if you're writing especially the career paper, it would be someone who works in that career or who has worked in that career. This can be someone you know very well. If your dad happens to be a cybersecurity analyst and that's what you want to go into as well, you could interview your dad, but definitely treat him as an interview recipient, not as your dad during the interview. And you can say, my dad is a cybersecurity specialist and I've talked to him about the field and here's what he said. You can say that. You can acknowledge that it's your father, but keep it to the professional side of things and don't go into like family stuff. That seems pretty obvious, right? So prepare questions ahead of time for the interview. Have some questions in mind. If you do an email interview, you can just email the questions and they can email their responses. If you do a face-to-face interview or even over the phone, you're going to want to be sure and write down the person's name and job title and take notes as that person is speaking to you so you can accurately include their words into your research paper. Make sure you write it all down, or you could even voice record it on your phone if you wanted to. Then in order to weave those quotes into your paper, here are some tips, again, from the Wahlberg article. She says, in order to weave content into your paper, the pages of quotes and information you've acquired can be used as direct quotes or paraphrases to support your main points. As you look for what content from your interview to include in the paper, be sure those quotes or facts are relevant and add value to your main points. Just as in using content from a book or journal article source, information from interviews should be used as supplements to the content as you write. So finally, you do cite your source with a personal interview. And in order to do that, it's just last name, comma, first name, period, the words personal interview, period, and the date you conducted the interview. You don't have to put the person's job title or the place where you had the interview or that it was done via email. You don't have to include any of that. So I have a little sample for you. Hopefully you can see this. Martin, last name Jim, period, personal interview, period, 19 April 2022. This will only take up one line in your works cited. It's a little longer because I wrote it. So I hope those tips help you. Personal interviews are great sources for your research paper.